Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. Now, the ATF must have found out that I was going to Vegas for SHOT Show today because they decided to release the ATF's new pistol brace rule when I was in the air, and I found out when I landed. So, what I'm about to run through with you is a few of the things that stood out to me immediately upon reviewing a very large document to bring you some things that I think were interesting and I haven't heard anywhere else just yet. Now, if you are a new or returning viewer, please consider hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn that notification bell on. We need as many people as we can in the fold, in the trenches, so we can pass the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation. Thank you so much in advance for your consideration. I want to say a quick word from our sponsor, Second Press, and then we're going to hit it. Now, the Second Press is something that I founded, and quite honestly, I founded it because I'm sick of the status quo. I don't like the idea that we send politicians to Washington, nothing happens. We complain about something that happens, nothing happens. I want to put action behind words, and that's what the Second Press is for. We are creating original, shareable Pro 2A articles, narrating podcasts, founding multiple YouTube channels, and offering exclusive content with your favorite 2A creators on Substack. Please support us by joining us at the link in the description box below, and thank you so much in advance, and I look forward to seeing you there. But my brothers and sisters, I've got to walk through this. Check this whole video out, please, and send this one out because there's some things here that I think are very interesting. Now, what I'm showing you on screen is the factoring criteria for firearms with attached stabilizing braces. This is the final rule from the ATF around stabilizing braces as they are reframing them into an NFA item. Now, very high level, they're openly saying most of the stabilizing braces are going to be NFA items. We're going to give you some clemency. We're going to say, hey, you can get a free tax stamp, but you're still going to register the dang thing. But some things in here are very fascinating. If you get past the initial infringements, the curtailing of our rights, and the whole Chevron deference abuse, which is a lot of things to get past, to be quite honest with you, there's some things that are sticking out to me that I want to share with you. First of all, let me walk you through this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below, and check out other sources as well, because this is a lot of information, all right? So this is from the final rule. The Department of Justice, the Department or DOJ, is amending the regulations of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, to clarify when a rifle is designed, made, and intended to be fired from the shoulder. This is important. The intended piece is something they hit consistently in this in this rule, and that's where I want to focus on in a second. I'm going to give you the high level, then I'll zero in on it. Now, this is where they're pulling the data for the authority from. Specifically, under the Gun Control Act of 1968, or the Gun Control Act, if we're going forward, GCA, and the National Firearms Act of 1934, the NFA, the definition of rifle shall include a weapon that is equipped with an accessory component or other rearward attachment, stabilizing brace, that provides surface area that allows the weapon to be fired from the shoulder. That's the important piece, surface area. Because they said that multiple times in this entire document. You guys know me, when I hear something more than one time, I will always zero in on it. Why is that important? Because I'm going to show a few more things here that really highlights. Because what they're doing is they're essentially negating previous classifications and saying, hey, any pistol brace that we've done before, yeah, we're going to negate that. It now belongs in the NFA. You have 120 days to register it or get rid of it, essentially. But what's interesting is that surface area requirement. Because they basically left the door open for companies to redesign these pistol braces. Therefore, they just moved the field goal post, if you know what I'm saying. Let's keep going. I got a few more things because this is a big infringement. It's an abuse of the ATF's power, but it's interesting how they kept on focusing on the surface area. This is interesting. This one caught my eye too. Nothing in this rule bans stabilizing braces or the use of stabilizing braces on pistols. However, firearms with an attached brace device may be subject to statutory and regulatory requirements depending on the firearm's objective design features and other factors as discussed in this rule. So they're openly saying that it doesn't ban them and it doesn't stop the use. What's the point? Does this boil down to just a redesign versus you can't have this anymore? Because as we go forward in this, like I said, this might be a little bit longer of a video, but there's some things here that are very interesting the way they worded them because it comes down a little different than it was proposed, right? The revised definition in this final rule clarifies, and consistent with the best interpretation of the statutory provision, that firearms with an attached stabilizing brace can possess objective design features that make them rifles, as that term is defined under the NFA and the GCA. Now, the important thing there is, if they're defined as rifles, if they have barrels that are shorter than 16 inches, that's now an NFA item. And that's the big rub. If you're making something that was perfectly fine as a pistol, but now it's a rifle because of the surface area of a previously approved brace, There's a lot to dive into there. Again, even in the end, and I'm going to kind of skip to it in a second, but at the very end, they even say, as long as there's no surface area. Here's the last one. I'll kind of wrap the video because that's the very high level, and I'm going to dive into this. The department does not believe it is inappropriate or necessary to specify a quantifiable metric for what constitutes surface area that allows for shouldering of the weapon. Translation: you can't have surface area. We're not going to tell you what surface area is, but you can always submit your designs and to see if they have surface area or not. I mean, really, any manufacturer could submit 100 different designs and all with different inch differences of surface area or micrometers or whatever you want to go with and say, oh, well, there's the defining factor, but they're not going to put it out in public. Let's continue. Under the final rule, any device or extension on the rear of the firearm that provides any surface area that allows for shouldering of the weapon is to be considered first before considering other objective design features. And so there it is again. It's the surface area. They say in the opening of this rule, the rule announcement and rule release, that there's nothing about this that says they're banned. There's nothing about this that says you can't use them. Everything we've determined prior is now basically negated, and you have to reclassify it and basically put it for a new approval, which all goes down to the actual surface area of what the new designs would be. Now, if you have a firearm that has a stabilized brace right now, it's going to be an NFA item. You have 120 days to either register it and get rid of it, and it's going to be a free tax stamp because they did change the rules on you, but it will still be registered. There's a lot more that's going to be broken down. I know lawsuits are going to start flying over this because it is very ambiguous, particularly the part where they say surface area is required, but we're not going to tell you what is required. I have a funny feeling this is not over. That's just my personal opinion. It seems like there's more to the surface area, and we're going to find out in the coming days. I just wanted to give you the very high level, some of the things that stood out to me as I dove into this massive document, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.